My name is JT Franco, and this is how I went from broke to successful in 6 months. Now, I say successful lightly because, of course, there's more to success than money, but for the sake of this video, we are talking about money. When I say money, I mean having literally none, zero, to making $1,000 per day in 6 months. Now, I'm gonna tell you the story, but it's not to show you how cool I am and how awesome I am for making money. It's actually the complete opposite. It's to show you how average I am, and if I'm being honest, probably below average I am when it comes to some of these success metrics. So you can see how possible it is literally for anybody to do this. So it all started when I dropped out of high school. So I was 17, I dropped out, and I was kicked out of my house. So I have no education, I'm kicked out of my house, I'm broke. Of course, I went and I worked at minimum wage for a couple of years, and then eventually I got this brand new job, and I was super excited, right? It was an awesome job, it was a sales job. And I was bragging to my friends, I was telling them like, yo, this is awesome. I got to go to an office, right? I got to wear a suit. They gave us business cards. I was like, yo, I'm an adult now. I'm gonna make it in the big world, right? But what I didn't know is that being an adult, you came with, waking up extra early to beat the traffic. Sitting in that traffic every single day in my beater of a car that didn't have AC, so I'm sweating buckets. But still, I'm hauling ass to get to work on time. I get there on time and my boss yells at me, JT, on time is late and early is on time. You gotta know better. Whatever, dude. So I hustle, I work my ass off for the next couple months of that job. And, I'm working really hard. I'm good at my job. I'm a good salesperson. And then one day, I yawned. I yawned in the morning meeting. Get the F out of my office. You gotta take this job more seriously. He passed me up for promotion. So for the last 6 months, I'm busting my ass. I'm going to work early. I'm helping clients after work. I'm working weekends. I'm helping the new hires. Also, I can elevate my life. I'm doing the best I can to climb that ladder. And in an instant, it was crushed because I'm working for this guy. He doesn't appreciate what I do. He's a tyrant, right? And I realized I'm never gonna get ahead this way, right? I'm working for, it's all this guy's decision. So I went home that day, I was pissed off. Like, this is whack, dude.
I've been up all night thinking about this, and I decided I'm gonna quit my job.
So I looked for other ways to make money. And I came across this book that my dad has been telling me to read for years. And I read it. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right now, I know a lot of people credit this book to being the catalyst for their success, and there's a good reason for that, right? It's a good book. Like when I listened to that book on Audible, I learned what it was to be in the rat race. I've never heard that term until that book. And the rat race is where, fear and desire run your life. So you have this fear of not having money. So you work, and then the desire kicks in, and you spend it, and you increase your spending. You make more, you increase your spending, you get into more debt. So you got to work harder, and then it goes in a cycle and a cycle and a cycle, and then you die, right? That's the rat race. I'm like, wow, okay. I also learned in that book that to be successful, to make money as an entrepreneur, you didn't have to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, which is what I thought, right? I thought being an entrepreneur meant you have the startup, and then you go on Shark Tank, right? You get venture capitalists, you get investors, and all these crazy things, and you gotta have the next world-changing idea. But I realized from reading that book that wasn't true. You just needed to have your money work for you, right? Your money work for you. So I read that, and it totally changed the way I saw the world. It totally changed my perspective on things. And then, so from there, I went into business, right? Long story short, I launched this catering company, and that failed. And so I failed the catering company, and at this point now, I'm close to moving back home with my mom and my dad because, I'm close to being broke. So I go out, I'm still trying to better myself, and I'm at this conference, this real estate conference, to try to find different ways to make money, to try and find different avenues. And when I'm at this conference, I met this guy. And this guy is who introduced me to the world of Amazon, the world of e-commerce, right? I'm sitting around, it's his lunch break, we're drinking a coffee, and he's showing me these sales that on his phone, and he's just refreshing them, and he's making thousands of dollars a day online. I'm like, what the actual F? I've never heard of this before. What is this? And from that moment, meeting that guy changed my life forever. And that's what I want this video to be for you. So if you're sitting out there and you're looking for a better way to make money, I know exactly how you feel, okay? And this is it. You just have to believe, because you know what happened when I went home and I told my friends and my family, hey, I found this guy who makes millions of dollars on Amazon and he's showing me the ropes. Do you think they said, woohoo, go for it, awesome, you're gonna do it? No, of course. They said, stop. It's a scam. Don't be an idiot. That's too good to be true. There's no way that's possible, right? And you are gonna meet these people. They're your friends, they're your family, people online. Probably people in the very comments of this video are gonna say that's impossible, that's a scam, it's too good to be true. And I want you to know that these people are not trying to help you, okay? These people are not even talking to you. They're talking to themselves because they're seeing someone that's doing something that's amazing, and they don't even believe that they can do it, so they project that out onto you, right? So you can either decide to listen to somebody who's done it, or you can listen to someone that doesn't even believe that they themselves can do it, okay? So what did I do, right? The first thing I did was I made the most important investment. I realized I didn't have much money, I didn't have many resources, so I made the investment in myself, right? Learning, taking up all the knowledge, taking up everything I could because of how powerful Rich Dad Poor Dad was. I went on this journey of exploration and really trying to see what else do I not know? What else have I been not taught all my life going through high school, right? So Robert Kiyosaki killed it with Rich Dad Poor Dad, so I read the cash flow quadrant. The cash flow quadrant, and that's when I learned the difference between being an investor and being a self-employed and being a business owner. Someone, self-employed is someone who owns a job, right? So you're running your own show, you're doing your own thing, but it's still a job. You're still time poor because you're locked down. You can't scale because you are stuck to this job. And that's when I realized, my catering company is not going to work. So, I moved on from that and I kept on reading. So I read, Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich. And I learned the power of manifestation, really believing and calling, it's the law of attraction basically is what that book is about. Believing that it's done, writing your goals down as if it's already been accomplished. And I read, the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, where he talks about massive action. It's not just about thoughts and goals. It's about actually taking 10X actions. Then I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and that book was amazing because that showed you, you think about success, what it takes to make $1 million. Let me ask you right now, what do you think it takes to make $1 million? Your mind goes into these, you see the big picture, you see all this, it seems so complicated, it seems overwhelming, but in The One Thing, they talk about how success is sequential, and it's about knocking down one domino at a time, right? What is the one thing you can do today that will make everything else irrelevant or not important? So I kept on learning, I kept on bettering myself, and then I jumped into Amazon. So Amazon FBA, basically, for those of you that don't know, it's where you own your own physical products brand, right? It's tangible, it's real products, you brand it as your own, and then you list it on Amazon and you sell it to Amazon's customers. And that's basically the gist of it. And it's really cool and simple because Amazon handles most of it. They do the warehousing, they do the storage, they do the shipping to the customers, Amazon Prime, 1-day delivery, they manage the, returns and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, this is it. This makes a lot of sense. It's a real life thing. And I knew this was the way to do it. So I committed to it. I knew this was the way. So what I did was, and I don't suggest or recommend this necessarily, is I went into debt for it, right? Like what else was I do? I had no money. All I had was credit cards. And I believed in it, so I dove in. So I launched my first product, right? This was called the Same Penis Forever banner. Yes, you heard that right. It was a banner that you hang at bachelorette parties. And I thought it was gonna be a great idea. And I launched it, and it failed. I'm like, okay. That kind of sucks. I lost like $1,600 on that. I was a little bit nervous, but you know what? It's okay. It's one failure. It's bump in the road, right? They always say success. All these books I read, I was so motivated. So I went out and second product. Let's go. This second product was a wall mount for shelving units that you put on the wall. Let's do it. So I go out, I launch this product. I'm super excited. Time goes by. Maybe a few sales trickle in and then failed. Whew. So I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, oh boy, okay, now I'm in debt, right? And I say a loss, I made some of the money back, but still I'm in a negative. So third time's a charm, right? Third time's a charm. I did more research. I did as much work as I could. And I launched this product. It was like Flame Bulb or Flame Bag, one of those products. I failed a lot of products, let's just say. And then the third product goes out, boom, 3 for 3, and it's not working, right? And now I'm really nervous at this point. I'm like, maybe this guy I met, this Nick guy, maybe he was lucky. Maybe it is a scam. Maybe my family is right. And, I have debt to pay off. Like, what the hell am I going to do? Maybe I should give up, right? That was my thought process. And then it struck me. I realized that it wasn't the model, right? I looked at Amazon. I said, this business model works. There's people that are doing it. It's a $1 trillion company, and the majority of the sales come from third-party sellers, like everyday people like me and you. So if my products are failing, it's not Amazon's fault, it's my fault, right? I took ownership. And by the way, another great book, Extreme Ownership. It's where something goes wrong, it's your fault. Don't blame anybody else, take ownership for it so you can correct the mistake. And that's what I did, and I said, you know what, this is it. I'm on the edge of crawling back home to mom and dad if I don't make this. I failed at school. I failed my catering company. I failed at my sales job. I didn't get the promotion. I'm failing at Amazon. I'm like, this sucks, right? I'm terrible at this. I'm not very good at making money, but I got to give it one last go. I got to give it my all. And I went for that fourth product, launched it, made $100 a day to $300 a day. I most ever made, boom, making $1,000 a day in 6 months period. And since then I've had, $30, $70, $100,000 days, but it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't believe, if I didn't go through the journey of bettering myself and then executing. And I realized that success was not about the tactics. It was never about the learning PPC, learning product research, learning these little things and the strategies. It was about the mindset. It was about the way you think about yourself and the way you think about success is what it really took. The resilience to believe in the thing even when you failed 3 times in a row. And like I said in the beginning, I don't believe that money is the be-all end-all, right? But it's about the things that you can do with it, right? It gives you the freedom, it gives you the time to spend with your family. I was able to take my mom, who had me at a young age, who's never able to travel the world. I was able to take her on a 4-month vacation to Asia. And that was one of the best memories of my life, right? I was able to buy cool things and have really cool dinners and have really fun experiences and travel with my girlfriend. I was able to do all this awesome stuff because I was able to stick with it with Amazon FBA. Now, what do you do now, right? So here's my advice. Step 1, write down your excuses. Now this one's gonna come naturally because this is what happens when you see videos like this or you hear stories like this. You say, wow, that's awesome, that's really cool, but I can't do it because, right? Now I'm gonna stop you right there, write that down. What's your because? Because I don't have enough time, because I don't have enough money, because of this or because of that. Look at them all down, write it down, and look at them and really think about it. Is it really gonna stop you? Are these things you're writing down really what's stopping you, or is that just a story that you've sold yourself on? Number 2, look at your options. Okay, you're gonna look at this paper, you're gonna think about your options, and you're gonna feel like you have a lot of options, but at the end of the day, you really only have 2 options. Okay, number 1, you can do nothing. Right? You can say, oh, this is too scary, this is too risky, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna listen to all the people that told me it's a scam. I'm gonna listen to all the people that told me it's too good to be true, that really have never tried it themselves, right? And you do nothing. Or you take action. You face your fear and you go after it. Right? Those are the only really, when it boils down to it, that's the only 2 options you have. But at the end of the day, when you're 80 years old, which one are you gonna regret not doing? Right? Because if you do nothing, nothing will change. And if you want change, you know what you gotta do. Okay, number 3, I want you to realize that this is real and this is not easy. I didn't tell you this story to make it seem like get rich quick. I didn't add the 6 months because I made it to make it seem more enticing, right? That's just my story. That's how it played out. But if you really listen to the story, it's not easy, right? It was scary as shit for me to go through all this risk, to go into debt, to really risk my whole life savings and everything I had and my credit on it. It was tough, right? But it worked out. I'm not promising it's gonna work out for you, but that's the reality, right? I want you to know the reality because there's a lot of marketers, there's a lot of gurus out there who are trying to make it seem super easy and super simple. Like getting rich is going to be a walk in the park. And I'm not going to insult your intelligence like that because I obviously that's not true. But I want you to realize that this is a possibility if you take action and move towards it. And number 4, the last thing that you would need to do is do what I did my first step, which was investing in yourself, right? Get the knowledge, get the know-how, sacrifice your time in the now to free your time in the future. Now I want to remind you, I dropped out of high school, I had no money, I was kicked out of my house, I had no friends, I had no education, I had no background in this, I had no knowledge of how to do it, I had nothing. And I was able to do it because I took action, right? Because I realized and I had the paradigm shift to realize what it took to get there. I believed in it, I stuck with it, and I achieved it. And I'm not the only person that's done this, of course. There's thousands of people that have done it. There's thousands of people that will continue to do it, whether you do it or not, right? The person beside you that's, telling you it's not possible, that says it's too saturated, it's too hard now in 2020, someone will be rich in 2021. Someone will make it happen in 2022. It's gonna continue to happen. Amazon's gonna continue to grow. E-commerce is gonna continue to grow. And that's just the plain old fact of it. Whether you're on the ride or not, that is up to you. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Hopefully I reached that just one person out of all of you, and that would have been worth it for me. If I could have been that person for you that opened your eyes to it, that put you onto the opportunity, that put you onto, Amazon FBA or e-commerce as a whole, then it would have been worth it for me. Now, if you want to start with step number 4, and take action, I'm going to put some videos up on the screen here that are going to show you exactly step by step the process, the actual nitty gritty in my screen, how to do it. Amazon FBA, step by step, A to Z, from 0 to actually selling products online. All you gotta do is click that video now, and I'll see you later. Okay, I'm JT Franco, the no bullshit Amazon seller. I want you to remember that if you do what everybody else does, you're gonna get what everybody else gets. I'll see you in the next one.